Hello all, welcome to our channel, Tech Talk, a place where we discuss about the latest for cybersecurity, cloud technologies, financial tech, organizational technologies, and where also technology meets business and business growth. Today, our guest is Eric Ngabonziza. Eric is the founder of Africa Cybersecurity, and he has a lot of experience in this space, in this area, a cybersecurity expert and co-founder of Africa Cybersecurity, master's degree in computer science, bachelor's degree in programming and networking, and believe it or not, 12 professional certificates from Cisco, Fortinet, Juniper, Palo Alto, and many more. So Eric, welcome to our channel. Really
Thank
nice
you.
to have you.
Thank you.
So as an introduction, because our topic will focus around cybersecurity topics, would you like to share a little bit some information about yourself and Africa Cybersecurity, your journey to found the company and your also personal journey from Africa to the Americas and your evolution initially as an engineer, as I understand, and then as a business owner that is creating business in that area.
Thank you so much. Yes, as you mentioned in the introduction, um, I have been in IT for a long time. That's why I have many IT certification. And before coming to North America, I studied in Africa, is where I did my bachelor's degree and my master's degree and also the diploma from Africa. And then I moved to North America. And from here in the North America, I got those professional certifications. So in the total, I have about 3 years of experience in IT. When I'm talking about IT, it means from programming and networking, systems, and then I end up in cybersecurity. So why did I decide to go in cybersecurity? Is because after going through all the stages, being, for example, network administrator, senior network engineer, senior network system, and also a senior network and security engineer, then it opens my doors to cybersecurity because as we can see today, all the companies are putting their services online. So which means they need protection. They need to protect their services. And the cybersecurity is here to help them to protect the data. And most of the companies also are migrating to cloud, and in the cloud we need the security. That's why I was motivated to change and then focus on cybersecurity.
So this is really interesting because what you're saying is that uh, businesses are moving their data online, and most of the business now is executed online, and the business model has changed in the past years. So exactly the security of those data, and those transactions or this information is really crucial for the businesses to operate. And we know that businesses that have experienced breaches, many of them really have not opened again, or they closed within the period of 1 or 2 years. From your experience, since you are active in that space, what are the problems that most of your clients or companies actually are hiring you to fix? Or what are the issues that most of your clients are actually hiring you to mitigate or to find a solution for?
Thank you for the question. In cybersecurity, there are three key points. Number one is people. People, it means a human being. It can be me, you, and them. And there's a technology, and also there's a process. But the problem, 99% of the problems are caused by human being. So because as a human being, we may be clicking here and there, clicking on the whatever without paying attention. And the most of the time, of those may be traps, maybe like a malware hidden behind, or maybe executable files. So that's why that is a issue number one in those all the people I met or all the companies that I served. The issue was social engineering attacks because those are social engineering attacks. Okay, when we're talking about ransomware, as you said, there are some companies which got hacked and unfortunately they couldn't come back because maybe the amount was huge, they couldn't afford it, and they chose just to go bankruptcy. But 95% of those ransomwares, they always start as a phishing, which is a part of the method the hackers or criminals use to launch those social engineering attacks. And there's some people that we ask, what is social engineering attack? A social engineering attack is that kind of tactics or methods or things that can use it to convince you to give me your sensitive information. And the sensitive information could be your name, your date of birth, your address, your social security number. Those kind of treasure for you. Once they end up in the hands of the criminal, they can use as they want without your authorization. And most of the time, you don't know even what is happening. And those companies, when they have those employees and who are probably by ignorance or maybe lack of cybersecurity awareness, those employees can open doors to criminals, and then there can be huge damages.
So from your experience, so the majority of the data breaches that you are aware of have happened through exactly this type of phishing attacks. If from
Yes, the majority. Yes, the majority they happened through the phishing attacks because those are the easiest ways to get people, and sometimes because maybe we may be tired and after a long day and you get many emails and then the last email came as a phishing and you don't pay attention and you click, here you go, you just open the door.
Mhm. So in this case, a lot of your customers actually invite you to educate their personnel regarding security topics or to enhance their awareness regarding security, right? So,
It's very, very important to keep reminding people what is happening out there because we have to remember that the hackers and the criminals, they are not sleeping. They are improving themselves. So we have to be proactive, even if we didn't get any attack, but let's be proactive and then uh, try to maximize or add many layers of security to combat to any attack may come to us.
so how would you do that in a company? For example, you would go in yourself and start classes or courses. You would invite them through online webinars. Would you run phishing test emails or phishing campaigns to test the responsiveness? How would you exactly work with a company to elevate the security awareness of the employees, of their employees?
You know, most of the time, or a company is not going to open the door for you to give you access to the sensitive information. So they have to know you first. So the first step is just so you can start as a, that's what I do. I go as I do a webinar or presentation or bootcamp or masterclass, just they can get to know me. So through those presentations, once they start to feel comfortable with you, they can open themselves to you, and most of the time you may probably you can know some more weaknesses, and if it's something you can assist, of course you will inform them what kind of services you offer, and they will be happy to open the doors for you for the to assist them. So they have to know you first because in cybersecurity we deal with sensitive information, so no one can open the doors for you if they don't feel comfortable.
This is such a nice comment because a lot of companies that are operating in cybersecurity, they find it difficult to penetrate the market and actually approach prospects or customers or clients and show them the advantages or the benefits that they would get from implementing security. So how difficult is to penetrate the markets and actually sell if you want, or demonstrate, at least in the beginning, your services or what you could achieve for a potential customer?
Yes, it's difficult, but you have to put the strategies in place. As I was saying, you can go by first presentation. When you do the presentation, of course, you tell them what could be a potential attack, and also you have to explain to them or show them what happened to others, so they can start to understand that around us there are people who are getting attacked, and it costs them a lot. So I think it's better for us to try to be proactive, not to be caught in those kind of attacks, and it's too late. And then on top of that, you can usually I do some more demos, so
Mhm.
to show them more. Here does how it works. Do a simulation to show them more. This is if you used to not to pay attention to this. This is how you can be caught. For example, phishing. Maybe any email comes with attachment. You just open the attachment, and you don't know. Maybe it's a executable file. Maybe it's a malware file, or any email with a link inside. You don't pay attention to the content. It's very important to ask your question why the content of this email is pushing me to action. Why? Just double check, triple check before you make any action because you never know the action can cost a lot the company.
This is another key comment, and also from many people's experience is exactly that phishing emails want to achieve this sense of urgency, this sense of danger, of immediacy, that you need or you must take immediate action without really double checking the content of the message. And if we are not aware and we click on the links, then exactly as you say, this may have um, serious consequences in some of the cases. So security
Yeah.
awareness is definitely something that is really important to train and teach in many enterprise environments. And I guess this is one of the core services that your company is offering, right?
Yes, and also here's another thing I noticed while I was approaching companies. Nowadays, many decision makers they don't understand why they have to invest in cybersecurity. So you have to teach them why it's very important to invest in cybersecurity. That's number one. Number two, to invest in the employees training because again employee who is not trained for me is more dangerous than a server which is not up to date. Why? Because a server which is not up to date, as long as the people they don't know its vulnerability or its weakness, no one is going to exploit it. But being an employee who is not trained or who is not aware of what can happen or who is ignorant, I can click on anything, even any dangerous link. That's why I say two things: invest in cybersecurity, invest in your employees' training. Very, very, very important for the companies.
Thank you for the message. It's really important for many businesses. Unfortunately, some of the businesses understand this after the events or after breaches or after attacks. And it's difficult to convince, as you said, the decision makers before. But after an attack, then things change. And many companies that if they survive, they start having a different approach towards the security of their IT. But I read here also on your website that you're offering also penetration testing services, right? So you would also
Yes.
be engaged in testing the security defenses of an enterprise or a company, correct?
Yes, correct. We do. We do offer penetration testing. Yes.
So, would you be able to say a little bit more about that? Because now with AI, there are so many tools out there that someone could use AI software to do some kind of penetration testing. So, how do you perform this service? Do you use some third-party software? You have your own tools developed. So, how do you do that?
Yes. We developed our in-house tool for the penetration testing because after using others, we noticed that there were some vulnerabilities we were unable to catch. And that's why we developed it based on the needs of our clients and also the reality of what we found on the ground. So we developed our own tool cover all the possibility vulnerabilities we can find on the ground. So how do we do? Usually we go in the company and then we have a meeting with the IT team or people who are responsible for the infrastructure to make sure that we do agree on the scope. So whatever is they want to cover, and then once we do agree, all of us we're on the same page. We launch the penetration testing, and then once we finish, we give them the recommendations, and also, of course, we categorize whatever we found. How bad is it? Like, is it a critical? Is it major? Is it minor? Just as the information, and then we provide them recommendation. That's how we do our penetration testing. Because we are not an integrator company, we just here just to find what are the vulnerabilities and give them the recommendations. It's up to them to go after any integrator company to fix those issues. That's how we do it.
So penetration testing can be a little bit sensitive because, as you said, you will really need to sit down with a customer and define exactly what you will be doing, which systems will be tested, who you will be testing, under which circumstances or which hours. Um, would you have any funny incidents to share that your penetration was successful and somehow the customer was surprised, or it created some kind of um, unwanted or unforeseen breach and they saw it and they went, okay.
Personally, I didn't have any funny but story. But as I was saying, we have to sit with the IT or infrastructure team to decide the way scope. Is because we know things can happen. Like what? For example, when we do, it depends what kind of penetration testing we are doing. We may, if, for example, you decide to do the penetration testing during the day, like during the production time, that's very dangerous. because you may cause, maybe you may end up or have the bandwidth, maximize the bandwidth, and is going to affect the production. That's very bad. That's why we have to sit with them. We tell them which day we are going to do, and we can do it after business hours. Or maybe if they have what we call maintenance window, they can give us the maintenance window in which we're gonna run the penetration testing. Because I've seen some companies doing penetration testing and then end up putting down the production because it's intensive, and it depends how big is it your bandwidth. You may end up or probably fill up the entire bandwidth. Yeah.
That's really interesting what you're saying because um, for some people, penetration testing is simply testing applications, finding ways to bypass HTTPS, for example, or web applications based on vulnerabilities. And not many people understand that you may really feel the bandwidth with traffic, trying maybe to bring down also some of the services or trying to exploit denial of service attacks, for example. So does this include also when you're doing a penetration testing, do you also do this kind of attacks if your customer would be vulnerable to them?
Yes, yes. That's why when we decided the scope, that's where we discuss with them. So of course we try to see the goal of this penetration testing is that to see if I put myself in the shoes of a criminal. The criminal is going to try to hack your website or your organization, maybe through a web, maybe through IoT, maybe through your mobile. Any device connect to your infrastructure, it's also a member of those devices that we should just scan. So we can scan, of course, your applications, I understand, but we have to scan also your Wi-Fi. We have to scan your IoT if you have like a surveillance cameras or you have other IoT devices. You have some smartphones, people they are receiving the emails through the smartphone. Those are part of the scope if we decide to have them up in the scope, of course. So that's why there are many devices you can touch, and sometimes when you do those intensive scan, of course, if you don't pay attention, it depends on how big is it your bandwidth. You may end up having like almost 100% bandwidth utilized.
Nice. That was the end of productivity for the people working in the company.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah.
that's really interesting to know a little bit more the details because this is also information for the people that would like to know exactly a bit more about penetration testing and how this is organized in order to actually perform it. But Eric, I see from your website that you operate in two continents. So your business runs in Africa and also in the Americas, in Canada, if I am correct, and maybe in the United
Correct.
States or in Canada. So
Hmm.
what is the difference in business between these two continents? Can you say a little bit more about Africa, for example? How people react or act, or what is the major sector of your business in Africa, or what is the biggest concern or rising concern in the countries that you operate from your experience, from what you see in the market there?
Our financial, for example, sector, that is a big concern because there are online transactions. And for example, in many countries in Africa, we have the mobile money, which means I can have like a wallet and then pay by using my cell phone, which means that wallet is linked to my cell phone number. So, and I can make a payment because of that service. And most of the time, all those services were created by telecom companies, and those companies that are not necessarily financial institutions. And we have to make sure that everything, every step is following the proper security measurements, like measures. Do we have a proper security controls in place? Because nowadays it's still a big challenge. People are losing their money. So that is a big concern around the fintech, and the fintech is booming in most of the countries in Africa. Yes.
Wow. So you want to say that in Africa it will be very common for people to exchange money through their mobile phones directly. So,
Is common. Like, for example, in Europe and North America, for example, we use credit cards, for example, to pay. If you go to do your grocery, you can use either your credit card or you can use your bank card. But in most of the countries in Africa, I don't have to have, I don't need that credit card. With my mobile money, which means is in my what I call my wallet. I can go do grocery the same way you do with a credit card. And when it's time to pay, I use my cell phone to pay. And if I want to send you money, like here in North America, we have what we call Interac. Interac means is electronic money. As long as I know your email address, I can use your email address and then send the money from my bank account. I just go into my bank account and put your email address and then send. In Africa, as long as I know your phone number and your name, that's it. I just transfer you the money. So you see, those services were created by those telco companies, and those telco companies that are not necessarily financial institutions, and that's why we have to make sure that those security controls, proper security controls, are in place. Yeah.
that is really so interesting because that actually opens the attack surface so much. So people that simply with they bind their wallets with a mobile phone and their wallets are installed on a mobile phone device, which by itself it's not a really um, hardware security device by definition. Um, it means that this opens the attack surface so much for for all kinds of exploits or attacks. So, what is your
Yeah.
experience? Are
Hmm.
people
And
using this?
also, mhm. Sorry, what I wanted to add is not only that what I say the concern is not only for the companies, those tech companies, also users, the users. We need to uh, use many ways to do cybersecurity awareness to them because as a user, you have to be aware that you have to protect. It's your responsibility to protect your phone you are using because if you don't protect, someone can get into your phone and they get access to your wallet. So it's for the companies and the users as well.
So, are there any incidents, or do people report incidents that the use of such systems has created fraud or anything, or is because one would expect um, some kind of fraud or some kind of security incidents with the use of those systems, right? So one would expect that cybersecurity or security concerns for these IT systems would be really high, or people should be engaged in order to ensure that these systems are running in the safest way possible.
Yeah, I think this is what I wanted to say. Most of the countries in Africa, they are doing good job in terms of For example, almost all the countries, they have the cybersecurity agencies, and those cybersecurity agencies, all of them, they have departments where you can report, for example, any fraud, and they put a toll-free number. So anybody can call that number for free to report, for example, a fraud or something which is not usually what we do, for example, in a cybersecurity awareness, we say, if you see something, say something. So because if you don't, like you see something, you don't say something, you never know. Maybe that thing will come back to hurt you. So we have those departments, people they call and they report. That's a good thing. But we still need to do more, especially for the cybersecurity awareness. That's what I wanted to say.
So, and this is a real interesting topic. So, you go to a financial organization in Africa and you want to present to the board a return on investment case or somehow a case on how they will get back their money that they will invest in security. So for decision makers, the return on investment is a key number. Why should I invest in that area, and when will I get my money back?
Yeah, you
Because
see, that question
cybersecurity
is
is something that people consider it something like, you're not getting something as a tangible product or a sale, for example, right? It's simply protection. You don't
yeah,
see visibly that I am protected. It's so nice, and you don't have the experience to be attacked. But in the end, of course, people do not see it that this month we made XYZ
yeah,
sales and revenue, but we spent X ABC for cybersecurity and we didn't make any money. So how would you explain that? How would you explain that to business decision makers?
yeah. So yes, you're right. That is exactly the same questions we get asked even in North America as well. It's not only for Africa, it's all over the places. So when you are in infrastructure, for example, because I used to be in the networking as a part of the responsible for the infrastructure, and most of the time I used to hear the managers saying, "You guys, you just spend the money, only spend the money. You don't have any income. There's no revenue for your department. You just spend." But easiest way to respond, that's what I used to do, and this is what I still do. For example, when my former managers were telling me, look, your colleague who is responsible for marketing, he just brought a client who is paying, for example, 5 million, and you want to spend 2 million, and you cannot tell me how long it's going to take me to get back that money. I will tell him easily, say, yes, I understand I'm spending. And whatever I'm planning to put in place is going to increase our security, is going to reduce the risk of being the next victim. So my colleague who brought today 5 million, tomorrow we'll be able to bring maybe 15 because our infrastructure is going to be secure, safe, so our clients will rely on us because our credibility will go up. So that's easier was the way I used to explain to them. And then you can say, whoa, well, after listening to what I said, you are right. That's true. We need to secure our infrastructure. So people who are in the sales, people who are in marketing, they can do their job. Otherwise, if it's not secure, the 5 million they brought today, tomorrow we'll be paying probably people are suing the company. You see, that's how I explain to them, and I can convince them to invest in cybersecurity. Yes, you are spending, but indirectly, you are going to get back from the services you are providing. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Credibility and deliverability is very important because, as you say, the sales team may bring in the contract for 5 million, but what happens if your company cannot deliver it? Or when you start the delivery, after some time, you shut down because your infrastructure is not there anymore.
Yeah.
And
Especially for the
then,
SLA.
yeah.
SLA, the service level of agreement, is very, very important. If because when you say I guarantee, I can guarantee you that you will always have internet connection. This is an example. Whatever service you provide, and every 1 hour down, I will be paying. So you see, we have to make sure that the SLA is is met. Otherwise, we'll be losing a lot of money. Yes.
So I believe here the key message to investors and the board and decision makers like CEOs or CFOs is it is the necessary protection so that the company will be delivering and growing, right? It's the necessary
Correct.
guarantee. Yeah, it is
Yes.
a business tool for continuation, for safe continuation. That's really important, the message.
Yeah, to protect themselves and also to train the employees. Very important.
So, Eric, you operate businesses in 7 countries in Africa and one or
Yeah.
two in the Americas. So, what is your
Mhm.
view? What is your vision? What would you like? What is your roadmap or path? What are your vision for your business?
Yes, we do believe in collaboration. That's how you can see we operate in the different countries. So those countries, people who are representing us are our collaborators. So there's through our collaboration, uh, we were able to get access to those markets because without the collaboration, we couldn't. So yes, I can see we keep growing. Most of them are the people who pass through our cybersecurity academy, and they say if we do agree, we can have a collaboration or partnership, and then they can extend our services in the countries which we do agree, and we believe in it.
Really nice, really nice. And I also see that you have been part of educating younger generations or training them actually in becoming more proficient in the area of IT and networking and security. And I believe that you help them achieve some kind of level so that they have also can have a better life also.
Yes, yes, we do.
That is so nice. It is beautiful because it is also not the business side, but also in every business, if I may say, there can be also a part which is giving back to the community. Some part that every business owner or can afford. Uh,
Yes,
and this is
that that
really nice to
that's
see.
correct.
This really
Yes, that's correct. Yes, it's part of giving back to the community, and yeah, and when I see that, I'm happy. Yes,
Thank you so much, Eric. It was so much a pleasure speaking and discussing with you. We will wish the best for your growth and your company goals and for in both continents. And all the best also for the people that you have trained and wish that the community and your business network also will grow.
thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much all for listening to us and viewing us. So until our next episode with our next guest. Thank you very much.